the Democrats say they care about people, do they care about people when they keep increasing the debt we have? What are we up to, $27 trillion worth of debt?
The debt, the debt, the debt. Oh boy, Republicans love talking about the debt. Sometimes. That's Senator Rick Scott, but you can insert almost any Republican politician or undead creature. They feel the same way. They love to talk about the debt to stop you from doing certain sorts of things. So if there's a proposal to continue the child tax credit, can't do that, you got a debt. Stimulus spending, can't do that, you got a debt. I mean, single payer healthcare, come on, we got a national debt and everything, we can't do that. Public free college, you can't do it. But interestingly, there are cases in which they're not so concerned about absolutely blowing a hole in the national debt. Here's an instance. This week, a group of 70 House Republicans have introduced a bill that would deliver an absolutely massive windfall to the richest people in the history of people by making the Trump tax cuts permanent. You have Representatives Vern Buchanan, Michael McCaul. They would make the TCJA Permanency Act into law that would cement federal tax law cuts for individuals that are set to expire at the end of 2025. Bear in mind, of course, they've already won half the battle, or depending on who you are, maybe more of it, because the corporate tax cuts that they instituted when they absolutely shredded the amount that corporations were expected to pay, those have been made permanent. Those are good for a very, very, very long time. Now they're trying to get the personal ones. And according to the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, they did an analysis. Extending the individual provisions of the Trump GOP tax law would cost around $2.2 trillion by 2032. And you might think, well, oh my God, that's a big cost. What do we get in return? Well, if you're in the richest 0.1% of the country, and spoiler alert, you're not, you would get an average tax cut of $175,000. That $2.2 trillion, by the way, is in addition to the multiple trillion dollars that they've already cost us now. You would then double that to get it for another period. Inevitably, they're gonna ask for it to be extended at that point. But in return, people who already own islands can buy an extra set of jet skis. That seems like a perfectly reasonable trade-off there. We've seen this time and time again, Cenk. I love when it matters and when it doesn't when it comes to the deficit and the debt.
So look, this is one as obvious as Fox News not doing actual news, but this one the mainstream media takes 10,000 times even more seriously, right? And they're like, oh no, they always say Republicans want to cut the debt. Republicans want to cut the deficit. Well, that's just empirically, factually incorrect. First of all, they never do. The last Republican president to balance the budget is Dwight Eisenhower, okay? So they came up with this theory, no, we can give trillions to the rich, which is the only reason the Republican Party exists. That's the whole point of it, 100% of it. Racism and all that stuff, it's just a tool to get you in the door so that you vote for tax cuts for the rich, okay? But back when they came up with this idea, it was so laughable, they called it the Laffer curve. It's named after Art Laffer. Okay, anyways, it was called supply side economics, trickle down economics. And what the idea was we give trillions to the rich and eventually it trickles down on you. And so we won't have a deficit, it won't add to the debt because the economy will get so uplifted that the money we get, the extra taxes we get from the uplifted economy will make up for it. Well, at the time, that was a perfect excuse for the rich because nobody had ever done that because it was so stupid. No one could possibly believe that trickling all over the American people would work, okay, to actually help them. But the media was also corporate media. They're like, oh yeah, it could totally work. Yeah, absolutely, right? But that was 1980, brothers and sisters. This is 43 years later. The data is in, the jury's in, it's over. It did not. When you cut taxes for the rich, it puts a giant hole in the deficit.
Wait, hold on, you're only saying that because it didn't work when Reagan didn't, and it didn't work when Bush did it, and it didn't work when Trump did it. That's the only reason you're saying that.
In other words, it didn't work anytime anyone's ever done it, because it isn't the point. It's a fig leaf, guys. So like if they said to you, hey, we're gonna take $2 trillion out of your budget, but don't worry, it'll come back to you later after the rich spend a little bit of it. I mean, would you give them your money? Would you give them $2,000? Would you give them $200,000 and say, hey, don't worry, maybe it'll come back to you later? Of course not. Of course not. It was always a fig leaf, but now it's absolutely proven to be not true. So mainstream media should never ever say that Republicans care about the debt or the deficit because it's not true. You're doing marketing, false marketing on their behalf when you say it. Here they are today, saying, oh, we got to cut Social Security. Mike Pence today talking about privatizing Social Security, cutting Social Security and Medicare, brazenly saying it. Even the host was like, yeah, that's the third rail. You sure you want to say that, Mike? Right? And they proposed earlier this week cutting food stamps for the neediest Americans. They want to cut them by $84. So they don't have $84 for you, but they have $175,000 for the richest people in the country. It's a joke. It's only for the rich, as they say, oh no, I'm so concerned about the deficit and the debt. Cut everything. Make sure the poor don't get anything. Make sure the goddamn middle class don't get everything. The rich donors, though, we're gonna get you $175,000 a piece every year going forward. Every year they get an extra $175,000. Is there anyone honest in media? Can you please tell them what the Republican Party's actually for?
Yeah.
Sharon.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that when you take the talking points from the party. That's what happens. They take the talking points right from the Democratic or the Republican, in this case, party, and then they just spit them out. And then they put two people on, they ask a couple of questions, but they don't dig deeper. And the next thing you know, they will put out more marketing and they'll say, you know what? They're gonna do affordable housing on their private islands. You just have to get there, Yeah. And so it's a never-ending cycle. While they change election laws and do whatever they want to do so that we can't even fathom voting them out and getting rid of these policies.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say one last bit of irony here. Rick Scott, the guy we showed you in the beginning, a Republican senator from Florida, he ran ads in his last campaign, and he says it all the time, that the Democrats want to cut Medicare, and he's here to protect Medicare. His company, while he was the head of it, did the largest Medicare fraud in American history. They paid over $1 billion in fine, which means they stole a lot more from that. By the way, Rick Scott got a $300 million on his way out in stock options. And then he said, oh, I'm only the CEO. Oh, we had two different sets of books, the real ones and the fake ones? Oh, I didn't know that at all. Golly gee, I guess somebody else must have done that. And then the company's like, good job, Rick, good job. Here's $300 million. He literally stole from your grandparents. He saw your grandmother, was like, oh, that's a good target. Let's rob her blind. That's how he got rich and famous in the first place. And yet the media tells you, oh no, Rick Scott says he cares about protecting Medicare. He stole from Medicare. His company stole billions from Medicare. Okay, guys, the Republicans are only in it for the rich. It's not just an opinion. It is empirical data that supports that opinion. Yet the media goes, I can't tell. I can't tell, 50-50.
Well, every time we talk about how the media advances this sort of narrative that these tax cuts might be good, might be bad, I always mean to then go check to see if the hosts on cable news would personally benefit from the tax cuts, but I always forget to do it, so I don't know.
To give you a sense of it, guys, last thing. Hannity makes $40 million a year. He would benefit. It wouldn't be just $175,000. It'd be a lot more for him. Yeah. He stands to make millions of dollars from that tax cut.
Yeah.
So you think Hannity's going to be honest that it's going to screw you guys, and you're going to have to pay the bill, and they're going to cut your Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid to pay for it? Of course not. He's going to lie to you like he does every night. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.